everyone. I was in the mood for a little Alice, so here we are. God bless them, still out there and doing tours. It's really not a difficult song, but I think the thing about this song is when they're not that difficult, it makes it harder. So it's the little nuances, and we'll speak to that, whether it's the references or the fills. I mean, the second fill has a third fill right over it while the rhythm guitar goes on. So we'll go over all the parts, including the leads, and you'll have this song. So the chords in the intro and the verse are basically D, A, G. A is more of a power chord through the second string. Your G, again, another intricacy, you want to use your old cowboy G with the B note in it and the second string B in it. So you got one finger on the first string, not both fingers. It changes the flavor. So, and this guitar is not real distorted. It's just on the edge of breakup. So the harder you hit it, obviously it'll break up a little more. I add a little compression to it. I don't think the guitar has compression. I think the song has a little compression to it. So other than that, I got my P90s and I'm down around 8. So again, I'm not pushing the amp too hard. So we're going to start out with 2 Ds. So the first one you strike, and then the second one when you strike down, you stop it right away. That's one of the first keys. Then we're going to strike, and then an A power chord. And then that stops. Alright, and then we go to 2 Gs. Stop. Then our strike and an A back to 2 Ds. So that'll get you through the verse. They'll go through that. There'll be a half measure for an intro, and then they'll go through a full 2 measures for verse 1 with those chords. At the end of verse 1, you'll hear them say, my life story. And that'll be right on the 2 Ds. The Gs, you're going to do the same. And then you'll hit a chuck of A, and then you're into the chorus. All right, chorus changes up a bit. Going into the chorus, right at that G, there's a fill. The first fill we'll hear. All right, so my life story. There's where the fill comes in. So we'll go over the fill next. The first fill will be here at the 12th and 10th fret position. We're going to be on the 3rd string. It'll sound like this. Alright, so as you're coming into that, the actual chorus starts when you're right about there. As you're ending it, but that is in there. So what he's doing is 3 strikes on the 12th fret 3rd string. The 3rd strike will be a pull off to 10. Then we catch 12 on the 4th string back to 10 on the 3rd. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, like I said, the next part you'll hear will be just as the chorus is starting. He goes from 10 hammered on to 12 on the 4th string, 10 on the 3rd, coming back to the 4th string with 12 pulled off to 10. So it's not real difficult. Again, it's just how this is executed to make it memorable. It just fits the song, it's melodic, and you remember it. Okay, for the chorus, we're going to start out on a G on the 6th root, and we're going to add our pinky to the 5th string at the 7th fret. So we'll be going from 5 to 7 back to 5. So it's 2 strikes on 5, 1 strike on 7, 1 strike on 5. Very simple, if you will, pinky rock. do it again. 2 more times. Then we just move to an F sharp. This would just be a power chord. It's 4 strikes. Let it ring a little bit, then stop. Then we go to a B minor, and you want to hit the full B minor chord. All right, you can hear all the strings within the song. To an A power chord and a G. The G is struck twice and lets it ring out. Then we continue on. Continuing on, I've seen some people play the A at the 5th root, and that's fine. I just go to the 6th root because that gets me back and forth for this part. Alright, so we move up to an A, adding our pinky to that. We'll do that for a half measure or 2 counts. Then to our G for 2 measures or 2 counts. Back to A for 1 and G for 1. And then to a D chord. Alright, that is the chorus. As we do that D chord, you'll hear fill 2 come in. Alright, the rhythm will continue, and then fill 3 will come in over that also. So we'll talk about all of that next. So post-chorus, we almost have like a bridge. We're going to end with our A, or D, sorry. And you'll hear fill 2 come in, and then 3 will come over that. The rhythm will continue. So the rhythm is basically D for a quarter measure, and then a G to A, back to our D, G, A. We'll do that 4 times. The 4th D takes us into the 2nd verse. All right, so let's end the chorus. I'll start with the 5, the A to G, and then D. So that is the rhythm under fill 2 and 3, the bridge there. I've written this out. I don't think I mentioned it in the beginning, and my notes are always available below the video to click on and download if you like. So that might help you. We'll go over fill 2 and also fill 3 that comes in over that. Right, so I'm going to end the chorus, come into fill 2. The chorus ends right on that D. All right, so we're back into the 2nd verse. When the 2nd fill does end, there's 4 of these. Again, you got the rhythm underneath with the A and or D, I should say, to A to G. But what we're doing there, as we hit the D chord, we're going to hit the open D string. And then what we want to do is strike the 3rd string, hammer on to the 4th fret. That's from 2 to 4. That is basically the essence of the chord. We're going to repeat that, but at a different position. We're going to go up to 9 and 11, back to 9, 7 to 9, back to 7, and then 9, back to 11, back to 9. Then we start over. So think of it as the 9s repeating, and we'll do this a total of 4 times. So 1 time through, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then it would repeat 3 more times. So it took me a lot to figure out that riff. There's a great video of the Alice Cooper Band playing a bar somewhere, I think, without Alice. But because of that, the camera doesn't focus on Alice. So you can see how he's playing this. And I watched this and worked on this, because the tabs are all over the place. But I really feel this is what they're doing. So you get that idea, but that's the second fill. Now the third fill will come in basically in the first quarter measure of the rhythm of this bridge. And he's got a wah with it. I didn't get out the wah, sorry. I didn't bother, because this lick is so memorable, it sounds great without the wah. You almost don't need it. And he doesn't use it like a wah-wah. He's just using it like to accentuate certain notes, all right? So let's go over that next. I'll zoom in a little bit. So fill 3 will go like this. Like I said, I don't have the wah on, but you can hear the notes. Alright, so basically we're going to start out this first string, 12th fret, bent and release to 10, coming to the second string at 12, back to the first string at 10, second string 12 again, and ending on 10 with some vibrato. Then you want to shift positions. Use your pinky or your middle finger, whatever, on that 10th fret, because we're going to go to 9 here. And 7 after the bend and release. Then 9 on the 3rd, 7 back to 9 on the 3rd, and 7 on the 3rd. Alright, it ends with this. Alright, so it's a basic 4-string hammer-on, 7 to 9, catching 7 on the 3rd, back to 9 on the 4th, and then 7 to 9 slid off. Alright, so that's fill 3. Like I said, I've written that out for you. The last fill, which is similar to this, just a couple notes different. We'll talk about that as we get to it. Now we're into the second verse. Second verse we know, but there is a fill in it. It's about 3/4 of the way through the measure. We'll talk about that fill here while we're there. So we know the verse. All right. The next fill will be this. All right. So that 4th fill is basically unison bends. We're going to be on the 2nd string at 10, 12 on the 3rd string bent up, and then we'll hit that 3rd string bent. And then we go 1st string at 10, and then we'll be at the 2nd string at 13. Bend that up, and then again hit 13 bent. And you want to keep 10 ringing, okay? So we have this. That's fill 4. So the second chorus is exactly what we know. When we end on the D, we'll go into fill 2, which we know. Okay, so we know that part. The third fill, again, is reprised just like the second fill, but it's just slightly different. So I've written it out. It'll sound like this. Alright, so the difference is we're going to, when we get to that, we know the first one. Now when we get to this 10th fret on the 2nd string, we're going to bend it 3 times, one more time with a release, bend and release. To 7, and then 9/7 on the 3rd. We're not going back and forth. We've kind of used up that space. Alright, the last part of the lick, we're going to start out 7 to 9 on the 4th string, hammered on to 7, and then we're going to go 9 pulled off to 7, back to 9 on the 4th. And then 7, 9, and slide down. Okay, then we're into the 3rd chorus repeated, but this is, I think it's pronounced this way, adagio, which means slowed down. That's how I wrote it. But what we're going to do is come up to some D's and slow the whole chorus down. So leading into it will be some D chords. So leading up to the 3rd chorus here, as we start slowing it down, we're going to do 16 counts of D, cowboy chord. Then we're going to move up to just the 7th fret, referencing a D. We'll do that for 8 counts. And then we're going to come up to the D octave, okay, at 14 and 15. And we'll do that 4 times and then 3 more slowed down and held. Alright, so we'll have this. Again, everything is slowed down, so the rest of the chorus, as we play it, will be just slowed down until we do the final lick. There is a change in the chords in this, so let's go through it slowly. Ow! Okay, so the changes when we go from our A quick change to G, we're not going to a D, we're going to go down to a full F chord, and then a G. And as we start that G, the final lick will come in, and that ends the song. So the final lick will sound like this. Just a great ending. They just stop right there. So we're basically playing between these 2 pentatonic positions, all right? The first one over the B, and the second position. We're not going any further. That would be the rest. Okay, so what we're going to do is start out on the 12th fret of the 1st string with a bend and release to 10. Then we go 12 on the 2nd string to 10 with a bend and release to 7. Then we walk down the scale. 9, 7 on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th string. And on 10 on the 6th, start walking back up. 7, 9. When you get to the 2nd string, we're going to hit 7 to 10 with a bend and release, to 12 on the 2nd string, to 10 and 12 bent and stopped. Alright, so all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. the song. I really hope that helps everybody. God, this is so much fun learning these classic songs. We're going to get kind of heavy for the next one. I'll give you a hint. It's a little AIC. Alright, it's the first song I've seen him do at Tiger Stadium. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Enjoy and have a happy new year.